From packed houses to scout houses to Japan and every bar in between, they became a rock and roll force to be reckoned with. But it wasn't always a sweet-smelling success. From their earliest beginnings, they had the talent and drive to achieve their wildest dreams, and even when things didn't go well, they had each other. The Stone Bunny brand of music forged a brotherhood, or rather, a bunnyhood. Now, one of rock and roll's greatest mysteries unraveled. This is Behind the Music, Stone Bunnies Down the Bunny Hole. Like many rock bands, the Stone Bunnies began with a guitar player and a singer. Matt Warman was born 5/15/1964, the youngest of 3 children and the only boy. As with most boys living in and around farms, he yearned for a bigger stage. He started to get involved with music in high school and was the original bass player for Azure Blue. Azure Blue played around the country, but like most struggling bands, could not afford to eat regularly, and that led Matt to become extremely thin, a problem he was able to reverse later in life.
Well, we were getting really popular, and the ladies really liked the guitar players. They really liked the keyboard player. They really liked the drummer. The singer was gorgeous, and it was all top 40. But really, they were just a bunch of bitches, and I can't deal with bitches.
Scott Gelder, born 2/15/1966, the youngest of 4. Earliest memories were of singing and music. In junior high at baseball practice, he heard the greatest music in the entire world, Van Halen, and his life would never be the same. Scott was in Glee Club before it was hip, and he was always singing.
I remember, really early in high school, learning how to sing in front of people and things like that, being in the car with my friends, and we'd have the radio on and singing, and they were always very supportive. I remember them always saying to me, hey, shut up. We don't want to listen to you, we want to listen to the music. I think that was very helpful. It helped me bring me out of my shell.
These 2 future bunnies' musical paths had crossed at, oddly enough, a father-son Cub Scout campout.
Well, the Scoutmaster invited me to bring a acoustic guitar to the camp out, and I really don't know any camp songs, so the only song I really thought would be really nice to play would be Dust in the Wind, and Scott Gelder just started singing, and he was like an angel in front of the fireplace.
I don't remember it that way. I remember Matt pulled up with a pipe organ to the camp out, and it had a Hammond B3 and 6 Leslie speakers, and I thought, that's kind of weird, but when we played it, it really sounded good.
After deciding to form a band, they knew that they needed a band name.
Well, we were coming up with lots of different names before we came up with it. We had the Flaming Queens, the Hot Tramps. I guess we were kind of horny. We had the Devils Inside, the Dick Insider, the drink, and then finally I saw the Stone Bunny, and I thought maybe we should be the Stone Bunnies.
Well, we were walking outside of my house, and there just in the garden, we noticed this bunny. And we looked at it, and we both thought, Stone Bunnies, it's perfect. Only one problem is about 1.5 years later, we figured out it was made of resin, and we decided not to change the name because, resin bunnies don't rock.
The Bunnies had their first gig for Laura Morgan's 40th birthday party. Since they were just starting out, the Bunnies agreed to bartend the party to get the gig. And that night, they started the band tradition of playing all types of music. The future was seen with one special guest. Jeff Hudson was born 12/16/1962, the oldest child. Jeff was a wandering soul. He moved throughout his childhood. Jeff always had a love for disguises. Jeff also loved music And Jeff loved his fabulous hair. He loved to party, and it's worth mentioning again, he loved his hair.
I usually begin with a wash, a standard wash. I usually borrow whatever shampoo's in there, and then I rinse, and then I repeat, and then I wash it again with somebody else's shampoo. Then I rinse, then I repeat, and then if there's another one, I'll do it again. So it's all different kinds. But the real trick is the tuna fish oil.
Much has been speculated about Jeff's day job as an archaeologist, where he could be digging in the ground without questions. But this may just be a cover for his real job as a hired killer for the government. Behind the Music was able to obtain through the Freedom of Information Act the following picture of Jeff and his fellow agents in Nicaragua disposing of a local communist leader. The first show of the new three-person Stone Bunnies was in December 2005 for a Christmas party. Jeff has fond memories of that particular night.
Yeah, there was, I remember our first gig, I was kind of misled. I actually didn't know we were a real band. I thought we were an air guitar band, and I don't really know how to play. So I tried to learn stuff off a tab real quick and, tried to learn what I could from that. And then, we were in this one song, Cold Hard Bitch, and I was just, I was going as fast as I could, which was about half as fast as I needed to be. And then I cramped up. So my hand turned into a claw, and it got caught in the strings. And that was it. I was done playing.
The gig was great fun, but was unfortunately the only time the Bunnies had played Christmas music in public. Even though the boys were creating great music as a three-piece, they knew they were missing something. Oh yeah, a drummer. Enter Scott Morgan. Scott Morgan was born 7/7/1966, the youngest of three. Growing up in the farming town of Springfield, Ohio was tough for this avid music lover. Even though country music was all around, he yearned for the more exotic music of REO Speedwagon and Journey to keep his spirits up. He was always an outdoorsman, but inside he longed for the life of a traveling music man. His favorite song says it all, Don't Stop Believin'. With wanderlust in his heart, he did what any dreamer does when he went to college at Kent State. He studied finance. Scott parlayed his dreams into the lucrative field of mid-level bank management, where he was always riding the storm out. In January of 2006, Scott received a call from the Bunnies that would change his life forever.
I didn't really have a drum set. It had been 30 years since I played the drums. No one ever heard me play. I wasn't that good when I was 12, and I don't think I've gotten any better not playing. I don't know where the drum set came from, just showed up.
Now, with a complete band, the Bunnies were ready to take a generation of fans on a rhythmic ride of heartfelt emotions.
Matt, he's our musical director. He brings everything together. And he's able to tell the funniest jokes I've ever heard that no one remembers.
Bitches.
Matt? It's loud. He's quite fond of himself and his genitals.
I've written a lot of stuff. I showed Matt my toilet paper with all the scribblings, and he just kind of doesn't think I'm going to contribute in that way. And literally, he wipes his ass with my songs.
Gelder is the makeup of this band. He's really the glue that brings us together. I don't know, he told me to say that.
Energetic, fit, sexy in his fishnet, an incredible singer, and an even better dentist.
When I think of the Stone Bunnies band, I kind of think of a Jell-O mold. And you're like the Jell-O that holds all the pieces of fruit together. And Matt's kind of like the pieces that aren't the fruit. We don't know what they are.
He's the fourth degree everything. He's a fourth degree land shark. He's a fourth degree fencer. Precise, never overwound, except for when he's overwound. Precise.
Jeff, he's probably the most caring bunny. He's always there. We would be lost without Jeff. You know, plus we'd have absolutely no equipment.
Lethargic and tiresome.
Scott Morgan, he's the backbone of this band. You know, I think that anyone who can, you know, still drum without sticks and still keep the beat, not the one necessarily we're playing, but a beat nonetheless, I think is invaluable.
He's got a great dog, man. I love his dog. Gus, that dog is just so great to walk, and oh, he's got a good bark too. Nice soft fur.
Well, they've never asked me to play guitar before, and I mean, I'm probably better than Matt. I don't really know. He won't let me touch his guitars.
Bitches.
The first Stone Bunny gig with 4 original members was in March of 2006 at a fundraiser for Zane Warman's trip to Europe. Great bands have a logo or mascot that, when seen, immediately makes people think of that band. Created by Eric Brown, the Stone Bunny continues to be one of the most recognizable logos in rock today.
I thought it was essential, you know, being a big Kiss fan, that we had lots of merchandising. So, you know, we have shirts, we have mugs, we have all this stuff that has the Stone Bunny logo on it, and it's the way most of us make our living.
The benefit was a memorable night. To see a future Hall of Fame type band in its first gig was magical. Sparks flew, and the band motto was coined by Mike Stuckey: "You guys don't suck." High praise indeed from a man who knows bands that suck. It was shortly after this that Matt came up with a great idea.
The weekend before Memorial Day is always a good party holiday, and we needed some adults to act like adults, or maybe adults to act like kids. Anyway, I just needed somebody to flash me close to my birthday. Well, SDR comes up for sex, drugs, and rock and roll, and every song, whether it's the title or the theme of the song or the words themselves, have something to do with sex, drugs, and or rock and roll. And that's what makes this party special.
This was also the first gig at the Hutch, that is, the Bunny's lair.
It's our special man cave, it's our lair, it's our home away from home. It's like a man's jerking station minus the wet lubricants.
It was also the first time the first 2 original songs, Saturday Gotta Play and Stone Bunny Man, were performed. Another first was that all members of the band sang a song.
Scott's not as good as I am. Pretty talented singer. I mask it a lot. I'm just kind of hidden. I think Scott tries to, he's jealous of my talent.
The show was a great success, but the first hurdle for the band was just around the corner: the disaster on the green.